Shalom, shalom. All right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, I wanted to get into this lesson today. Now, a brother had put I think it was a news clip, all right, in our group chat, and it was dealing with Russia and China. Okay, so I looked, and I was able to find an article here. This is from Newsweek. Okay, and I'm going through it now, looking at what it says here. All right, but the title says Russia is building an army of robot weapons, and China's AI tech is helping. All right, now it says this was published on the 24th. Okay, and like I said, we're gonna read through it, and being cautious at the same time, because you do have, I don't usually read articles from Newsweek, all right, but you do have certain articles or information that's out there that could be fabricated. But nonetheless, when dealing with topics like this, as it mentions an army of robot weapons, you're dealing with super soldiers, you're dealing with, bio-enhanced soldiers, okay, all of this, all right, it's really all in the same ballpark, the same field anyway, okay, and that's why I titled it Man versus Machine, okay, because, and really, if you want to get technical, it's going to be the spirit, versus technology, all right, and that's ultimately what it's boiling down to, because when you look at what these nations are trying to develop. Now, I believe France mentioned something about super soldiers, So you already know, because they have things like invisibility cloaks. They are developing a AI, sort of, I think it was like an AI brain interface or something like that, where you can, as a soldier on the field, you can sort of see, things, but not from just your regular human eye. You can see it in like a digitalized, analyzed field. They also had this thing where they were basically developing this helmet where soldiers could control technology with their mind. Okay, where they can control drones and all of these things with their mind. And you got to ask yourself, well, as they're developing this more and more, okay, and more, what's the threat you really need super soldiers for? You already have armies, you have National Guard troops, you have peacekeeping troops, you have, the police force, you have all these different FEMA troops, and a simple gun will do. But you got to ask yourself why they, and when you look at things, man, a lot of the things militarily that they're investing in, these are things that are overkill. If you wanna put it in layman's terms, these are overkill, because why do you need a super soldier or a robot army if you're dealing with civilians? Why do you need, all this space force? Who are you gonna be fighting in space? You're not even done fighting wars on the earth, but you want to fight in space? See, so there's something deeper to this. Okay, so now let's see what the article says, and I have a couple of precepts here, because regardless of what they throw at us, whether you come with regular men, whether you come at robots, they're already starting with their robot dogs and all of that. Whether you come with that, whether you come with cyborgs, and that's why they have movies like Wolverine, and what's this guy's name? Deadpool, and all these Captain America, they've been Iron Man, right? They've been experimented on, and or via their technology, they've been able to try and ascend from being just a regular mortal man to something more. Okay, and the Lord is going to do that for us on the right-hand side as well. So it says, Russia is building an army of robot weapons, and China's AI tech is helping. Okay, and it says, Russia is developing an array of autonomous weapons platforms utilizing artificial intelligence as part of an ambitious push supported by high-tech cooperation with neighboring China. Because when they hit that point of trying to accomplish the New World Order, they're gonna have eyes everywhere, surveillance everywhere. They're gonna have these drones and everything flying all around, fully armed. So here it is, a drone could pull up on your ass and identify you via facial recognition, you know, and pull up all your information, all your records, you know, whether you're down with the system, you know, all these things. Okay, and when it comes to that, we, you know, according to using wisdom and the scriptures, we follow the laws of the land until we can't anymore. But now when it gets to the point where they're, you know, they're coming at you, you know, as the scriptures say in Revelation 13, that all they that wouldn't worship the image of the beast should be killed. You know, you don't want to conform to this society, they're going to start coming for you, you know, and it's going to be harder and harder to just be left alone. It's going to be harder and harder to just live a regular, normal life. But that's when the Lord is going to step in. So it says, the extent to which Russia has prioritized AI in modernizing its military was featured in a report entitled Artificial Intelligence and Autonomy in Russia, which was published Monday by CNA Nonprofit Research and Analysis Group located in Arlington, Virginia. It says the report's author worked closely with the Pentagon's Joint Artificial Intelligence Center to produce what the organization called the first major piece of U.S. research that articulates contemporary Russia's main initiatives, achievements, and accomplishments. It says in AI and autonomy efforts and places those initiatives within the border or broader technological landscape in Russia. So now you have cyborgs, you know, these super soldiers. You have super soldiers where they can make them, you know, like literally like Cyborg, if you're familiar with DC, right? Cyborg, where he's technically, or RoboCop, you know, where it's almost like you're human, but you're not. You're part man, part machine. And what do you think Elon Musk's Neuralink is all about? Okay, they want that transhumanist agenda. They wanna merge man and machine, okay, to form something. But in their minds, that's how they want to be able to live forever. They want to become gods through their technology. Okay, and it's ultimately going to come down to a battle, but it's really going to be the spirit. It's going to be spiritual power versus technology. Even up until when Yahushua comes down with the angels, it's going to be spiritual power versus technology, versus Esau's weapons versus his jets, his drones, his satellites, his space weapons, all of that, against chariots, against angels, against the Lord, against the elect. And they're going to lose horribly. Absolutely. Okay? It says, Russia's military strategists have placed a premium on establishing what they refer to as information dominance on the battlefield. The report stated, and AI-enhanced technologies promise to take advantage of the data available on the modern battlefield to protect Russia's own forces and deny that advantage to the adversary. Okay, now, like I said, they already have things like invisibility cloaks, you know, and you see in certain video games, like certain Call of Duty video games, that are more futuristic, like Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, something like that, where they were in space, you know, and you can see the military technology is so advanced. You know, they could press a button on their gauntlet or whatnot, you know, or whatever arm piece it is. They press a button and then they could just go invisible, you know, or they tap it again and then they could come back. They had like exosuits, you know, where they could they already have jetpacks, you know. So next thing you know, you start seeing Iron Mans flying around and shit, you know. So don't be surprised, because that's where they're headed. Now, how do you fight against that? So say, pursuant to Isaiah 59 and 19, as a matter of fact, let's get that. Okay? And shalom to all you tuning in. Now, this is the book of Isaiah 59 and 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. And where does the sun rise from? The east. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. Now, a flood, right? When a flood comes at you, it doesn't bring just water. You got different animals, you got alligators, you got sharks. You know, depending on how severe it is, it's you know, the water itself is bad, all right, in terms of the amount, but there's also things in the water. So when these devils come like a flood, they're gonna come in mass, they're gonna come in numbers, they're gonna come, you know, trying to overwhelm you. Okay, like a breaking forth of waters, as Job said. However, they're not just gonna come, you know, we gotta ultimately see, but according to things like the story of the Black Jesus, you know, where there was this like I mentioned before, you know, this individual appeared, and basically he had spiritual power. They tried killing him, and they couldn't kill him. He decided to leave and said that, you know, more people like him would start showing up in the latter days, basically. So they're preparing for things like that. They know if they watch our videos and they hear us talk about us being the Israelites, which they know, okay, they know we're the true prophets. And then we've been talking about chariots. We've been talking about the things that are going on in the world. We've been talking about their central bank digital currency that they're pushing, which is going to lead to that thing. We've been talking about all these things, these different prophecies, history, all of these things that have come to pass. The words we speak are factual because they're scriptural. Now, these devils see that and they're like, yeah, they're a threat because they're real. These are actually real men of the Lord. So do you mean to tell me that they missed the part about spiritual power? No, they didn't. You know? Now, let's say the story of the Black Jesus is actually true. You know? It's a story they say is true. Hey, it might be. But let's say it's true, it's solidified. And then now they're hearing men come out, read it, and they already know that we're legit, you know? So that makes them even more afraid. But then they hear us talking about spiritual power. They hear us talking about a standard. They hear us talking about the Most High, you know, defending us, divine intervention. Of course they're gonna start preparing. Of course they're gonna have different drones, different, you know, like I said, super soldiers. Now you have soldiers that have been experimented on, like some Captain America type soldiers. You have the Winter Soldier, whole arm replaced, you know. And they were basically, they had him MK Ultra. I think his name was Bucky or something. They had him like MK Ultra, you know. So they have all these different things. And they're going to use it because they're like, well, let's say, put it the case where these men do get spiritual power. What are we going to do? Send a freaking a SWAT team after them? You're going to send your sheriff after them? Dude is like 50 pounds overweight eating, you know, Dunkin' Donuts running at you, you know, with handcuffs in his hand. And here it is, you got spiritual power. That's not going to be what they once, you know, the Lord sets up that standard, man, they're going to realize that regular average individuals ain't going to cut it. Okay? Because as the scriptures say, even our forefathers were running through you know, our enemies like that, just running through them, as even King David said. So they understand. When you read like stories like Samson, you know, the King David's mighty men and so on and so forth, when these men, and these were men of war, when they came against us, they got ran through, done, finished, annihilated. So these devils know that, yo, we can't just come, we can't, and that's why they're very, very, you think these devils don't want to roll on us? They're itching, because every day that they don't, it's getting worse for them. And they do want to roll on us, and they do want to do something, but they're being extremely, extremely cautious, because they only get one. It's going to be a one try for them, okay? And they're trying to get it right, because they know that the second they actually come at us and set it in their minds that, look, this isn't going to be put them in the media, demonize them, and fall back. They've tried that once, twice, 3 times, you know? But the second they set in their minds, yes, go after them. Send them legislations. They are criminals. They are terrorists. They are whatever. Go after them. There is an insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. We're going after them. All right? They know they got to do it right in their minds. They got to do it when it's ready, when everything is set. Because if they miss, in their minds, if they miss even one thing, they're going to screw everything up completely. Okay? But what they fail to understand is regardless of how long you take, how well you plan, everything you do. The problem isn't your planning. The problem is what you're planning to do. Because Isaiah 59:19 is not a lie. You gonna come in, and the problem ain't with how you come in. The problem is the fact that you come in after us. And there's gonna be that standard. And you're gonna get pushed back, man. Okay? This is Amawan Ibad. This is Psalms 105 verse 13. It says, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, verse 14, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes. All right, verse 15, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my who? My prophets no harm. Beautiful precept. Okay? So if in the past the Lord has done this for us, why is it that now when we need him most, all right, when we're facing really one of our biggest enemies, because Nebuchadnezzar didn't have this kind of technology that Esau has today. The Greeks didn't have this kind of technology. What did all these ancient kingdoms that took us down, what did they have? They had numbers. And they had different ways of fighting and so on and so forth. You know? But none of them had the technology that Esau has today. Because Esau, you see, in the ancient world, you wanted to take over a city, you had to like lay siege to the city. You had to send your armies in there. That would be men. That's money. That's you know, that's a lot. Esau don't even got to do that. He just got to fly over you and drop something, and then boom. Instead of having a whole array of men going there and slaying and doing this, he just drops a bomb on your ass and then finish. Or sends an unmanned drone and that drone just shoots you, zaps you, whatever the case may be. Microwave weapons, laser weapons. Weapons that we don't even know about. Weapons that mess with your sound frequency weapons. You know? Weapons that can put thoughts into your mind. You know? This is a new type of technology, all right? Or a new type of foe that we're going against. And you best believe that this being the last time, you know, Esau being the last heathen that's ever going to be over us, and us being delivered from him is going to have to be something, you know, beyond. You know, it's gonna have to be something beyond. You know, the Most High plagued ancient Egypt with those different plagues, and this time it's gonna be so, but it's gonna be even more intensified. Okay, and we also gonna be putting in work, Lord willing. But you just wait, man. The Lord is waiting for you to provoke him, because he's gonna counter you. You're gonna provoke the Lord when you come to touch us. So we don't have a thing to worry about, because we're not going to fight for ourselves. The Lord is going to fight for us. You know, it's going to be like a reflex. So come with your machines, you know, come with your guns, come with all of that. But there's going to be a reflex, as we just read. The Lord said, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. But they're going to come to try and do us harm. So we're waiting, really, you know. And the Lord it's going to be like a defense mechanism. That's why it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. You know, when you have a building with security, you know, you have certain rooms, like they'll show you in certain movies that have like lasers, right? Constantly going around, those light beams, you know. And if anybody breaches it, you know, depending on how intense it is, there might just be a whole room of guns that just start shooting at the person, or it just sounds off the alarm and locks things down, right? That is like a reaction. See, if nobody trips off that alarm, then nothing is going to happen, right? So think of it like that. When the enemy comes in like a flood against us, that's somebody tripping the alarm. And it's been set that way that when you do that, that's when the standard is going to be lifted, okay? And you're going to see things that you've never seen before, because what the standard the Lord going to have to live is going to have to be something great, because we're going up against technology. Okay, we're going to be going up against technology. All right. This is Amawan Ibad, Micah 4:12. It said Salakia 4:11. It says, now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. All right, verse 12, it says, but they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves in on into the floor. Verse 14, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Okay, now what that means is, let me actually pull it up on here. Okay, because now yesterday I mentioned this. What is that? Micah 4 and 11. Yesterday I mentioned this. It's like it's an analogy, all right, and that's why it mentions in Micah 4 and 12. It says, now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, let our eye look upon Zion. And that's what they're doing now. Okay, verse 12. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord. They don't understand. As a matter of fact, there's a precept that says, because the Lord hasn't done anything yet, thou altogether thought that the Lord was one like thee. Right? So because the Most High didn't directly intervene when you touched us and put us in slavery and all of that, you thought that the Most High was with you, that he was like you, he thought like you, and he was okay with it. Okay? So as it says, but they knew not the thoughts of the Lord. You don't know the thoughts of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right? Even us, who the Lord has revealed his secrets unto, we don't know the mind of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. We know his will, okay, but we don't know the mind and the exact details of what the Lord is thinking, because he said his ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. But it says what? Neither understand they his counsel. So you don't understand that the reason the Lord is doing all this is so he can really set you up and destroy you. All right? The reason the Lord... Look, man, learn from Pharaoh. Why did the Lord raise up Pharaoh? He tells you explicitly, it was for this purpose that I raised up Pharaoh, that I might destroy him and have my name be magnified. So why did the Lord make Pharaoh so big, so bold, so proud? You know, why did the Lord allow his magicians to be able to do whatever it was that Moses was able to do and try to counteract it? Because it was all a part of the show. But at the end, what happened? The Lord did that to raise up Pharaoh to this level, not for Pharaoh's benefit, but so the Lord could crush him. So learn from that, okay? You don't understand that the Lord's counsel is to raise you up so that he can destroy you and bring you down, and his name can be magnified, all right? Now it says, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor, and that floor is referring onto a threshing floor. Okay, a threshing floor is basically like a ground, you know, like a leveled, hard surface, okay, where you would thresh, you know, as it says, the sheaves. When you plant, okay, back in the ancient world, let's say you're a farmer, right? You would have your plowshare, you have your oxen, okay, and then you would yoke the oxen together, right? So let's say you have two oxen, one here, one here. You will yoke them together by the neck, you know, and they would be linked to your plowshare, okay? And then you would use that, so as they keep going, and the farmer would have something called a goad. All right, a goad was basically like a rod that had a pointy end, and what he would do is he would poke the oxen, all right, if it didn't want, like maybe they didn't want to move or they were going in the wrong direction, he would use that to poke them so they could get the job done, okay? And so as they're going, he's holding the plowshare, all right, and it's basically creating those furrows in the ground, and he's dropping the seeds, okay? And then when the rain comes, you know, it basically, you know how the process goes, all right? That rain goes over the seeds and they grow, okay? And then when the time comes, they grow into the crops, and then the reapers come and cut it, and then they take it to a threshing floor, okay? And what they're gonna do there is, let's say it's like wheat or grain or whatnot, it doesn't just come as the grain itself. It's covered by the chaff and the sheaves and all of that. So they take it, they lay it all on the threshing floor, and then they beat it, okay? They would either beat it with a stick or a threshing, whatever they would use to smash the floor. They will smash the sheaves on against the floor, and what that would do is, as they keep hitting it with the impact, it's uncovering, and the seeds are all over there. And after that, they will gather the seeds or the grain, All right, and that's why the Lord talked about sifting the house of Israel, and not the least grain shall fall upon the earth. So they would sift it, and they would take out the grain, and then the chaff they would either burn it. Well, that's really what they would do. They would burn it. Okay, so that was one way. Another way was that they would have the oxen, all right, or cattle or whatever it was, have it walk upon the threshing floor. And as they're walking on the threshing floor, their hooves are breaking and opening the sheaves. So it's almost like you're beating it, but you're having them walk on the threshing floor, and it's allowing, you know, the chaff and all that to fall off and the green to appear. And that's why Paul makes reference to that and says, muzzle not the ox, because according to the law, if you have an ox walking on the threshing floor doing the work, you can't muzzle it. You can't keep its mouth closed. You got to allow it to be able to eat some of the grain on the floor because it's doing work. Okay, so going back to Micah 4:12, it's saying here, for the Lord shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Okay, arise and thresh. So the Lord is saying that these people are going to be likened onto the crops, and we're going to be likened onto the threshing instrument. Matter of fact, where is that at? Yep, this is Isaiah 41:15, and I'm gonna come back. It says, behold, and it's the Spirit that had this precept on deck. It says, behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument. Okay, now let's see what they give us for the word threshing. All right, because if you notice the analogy of a threshing floor, it comes up a lot in the scriptures. It says thresher, threshing sledge. Okay, it doesn't really give much, but it's what they would use to beat the crops in order to get the grain to fall, all right, or to come out. So Isaiah 41:15, the Lord said, behold, I will make thee, referring unto Israel, a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Okay, thou shalt thresh. So you would have, sometimes the threshing instrument could be like a sledge, and then on the bottom of it will be sharper, you know, teeth like, and that they would use that to, you know, boom, boom, keep hitting, threshing it on the floor to get the crops. So it says, or the grain, it says, thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small. Thou shalt make the hills as chaff. And chaff is the, you know, the outside, all right, that falls off, and then the grain comes out. Okay, and that gets either blown away by the wind or it gets burnt. Okay, then they would take the grain, and then they would have the millstones, and then they would grind it, all right, and get that flour or whatever they would use it for, make bread and make all these different things. All right, so going back to Micah, the Lord is saying here that he's going to make us, okay, as it says, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. So they're going to be the crops on the floor. And it says, arise and thresh, and we're going to be the ones threshing. So we're going to beat them. It says, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass. Now, what is a hoof? That's the bottom part, right? That these, you know, certain mammals have. You have like horses and oxen and all, whatever. They got that. So the Lord is saying he's going to make ours brass. And that's why I explained how sometimes you would have a threshing instrument that they would use to beat the floor, or they would have the oxen walk on it. So the Lord is going to make our hooves brass. It says, thou shalt beat in pieces many people, because they're going to be likened onto the sheaves that are getting threshed. Okay, it says, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, because what do you gain when you beat the threshing floor? The grain. All right, that's the gain of the harvest. Okay, it says, unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. So in putting it in our terms today, the Lord is going to give us power to be able to beat down these nations. Okay. So now I had here the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 15, and I'm actually going to start off at verse 13. It says, for I, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thy power will hold thy right hand. saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. See, so the Lord, that's why I'm saying man versus machine, but really, it ain't even gonna be man, it's gonna be God versus machine, or machine versus God. However you want to bring it, your technology and all of that, guess what? You coming against the creator, man. Because we got the creator on our side. And the Lord said he's gonna help us. What greater help can you get than, hey, as King David said, my help cometh from, from the Lord, from above. So it says, fear not, thou worm Jacob. Now, think about this, right? Esau sees us as a threat, but the Most High, he called us a worm. The Most High sees us as likened unto a worm. Now, when you see a worm compared to you, it's almost so insignificant because it's just, literally, if you even step on it or walk on it by accident, it's done. And that's how the Lord compared us. So if we, being a worm unto the Lord, are a threat unto Esau, but he's going to try to fight against the Lord, how does that sound? You can't even deal with us, and we're in a low state now. When you look at when these Edomites come after an Israelite, and they call in 10, 5, 7 different officers to come and just hold down one Israelite on the ground, and the Lord called us a worm, but you're going to try to fight against him? Come on, man. So it says, the Lord, fear not, thou worm Jacob, ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. And these people have not seen anything, man. Number one, the fact that we are out here teaching, the fact that we understand these scriptures, all right, there's literally nowhere else on the planet Earth you can go to get the true understanding of the scriptures but over here, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. And I realized that when I first came into the truth, and there was a certain, what I'll be reading, and there'll be certain questions that I would have, and we're so used to going to Google, but I started realizing that, hold up, whenever I Google these questions, I'm not getting answers. And then I realized, no, I gotta go to YouTube. I gotta find these videos. I gotta find these breakdowns, all right, on whatever questions I have. And that's when I realized, like, damn, so if there's not a video or a breakdown on this, then I'm basically screwed, because I'm not getting, where else am I gonna get it? Where else are you gonna get the true understanding of the scriptures? So when you think of it like that, just even in the sense that we're able to understand and break down these scriptures, that is an example of spiritual power. That is something miraculous on the planet Earth, to the point where we were everything was taken away from us, where we couldn't even read and write. Right? How imagine that, how low we became as slaves. We were considered property, couldn't read and write. We were on a low level, and yet the Lord still took us from that. And look at us having the knowledge, as the scriptures say, the Lord confounded the great things of this world, with the base things of the world, roughly paraphrasing. So here it is, we're breaking down scriptures that nobody on the planet Earth can break down. Nobody on the planet Earth has been able, all right, aside from, like I said, us starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, has been able to break down the scriptures. And that's why when you look at the center of attraction when it comes to the Bible, it's us. Why do you think people like Vocab or these scholars or these Christians or all these people, why do you think they address us, or they even want to deal with us? Because they know that when it comes to the Bible, nobody, even them, can't go into it like how we go into it. But that's not really of us, that's of the Spirit. Okay? That is an example of a spiritual act happening. So if that can happen, all right, on this level, then when the time comes when the Lord says, all right, the time of speaking is over and all of that, now it's time for things to get physical, the Lord's going to have another miracle happen, all right, that's going to be spiritual on that level. Because when the enemy comes in like a flood, they ain't going to come in verbally. Now they are, but that flood that they're coming with is going to be physical. And they're going to try to drown us with it. Now, the last time when they came in like a flood, back in around 70 AD, they got us, but we fled. As it tells you in the book of Revelation 12, that the Most High gave us wings as the eagle, and we were able to flee when the dragon cast out, as it was like a flood out of his mouth. But this time, the Lord said, when they come out and they cast out when they cast that flood out, we ain't gonna flee. All right, there's no way we can flee to. We're gonna have to fight. Okay, and that's gonna be starting with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai fighting for us. Shalom, Zakwan. All right, so Isaiah 41:15, it says, "Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and make the hills as chaff. Okay, thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away." Okay, so once again, going back to dealing with the chaff, after you've been it on the threshing floor and you've gathered the grains out of it, and you just have the chaff there, you could burn it or you could fan it. You know, you gotta basically let it go with the wind. The wind will carry it away because it's light. Okay. It says, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. So that's what the Lord is likening our enemies to after we done after we've beaten their ass. Okay, after through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we've conquered them. It says, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shall glory in the Holy One of Israel. So man versus machines, you could bring your cyborgs, you could bring all of that. All it's gonna do is just make the show more interesting, you know, because no matter what you do, the Lord is always gonna surpass you. All right, so whatever you do, the counter is always gonna be greater. You know, so you could bring your greatest. That's only gonna really excite us to see, damn, you know what I'm saying, how much greater the Lord is gonna counter whatever it is you're bringing with. Okay, so I have here the book of Psalms, the 18th chapter, and I want to go hit the point. All right, looking at certain things that the Lord, okay, gave, you know, the ability that he gave us, starting with our forefathers, to do. Okay, yeah, yep, like the elder said, it's like a Terminator movie. Yeah, and we're gonna be like that, you know. Now, I didn't get to watch it, but I know there was a new one that came, and the villain was, I think he was a robot or Terminator himself or whatnot. And here it is, Shorty took like a big ass like a metal piece, and she just whacked this dude in the head. And you could see the slow motion, and he just flew and he just crashed and all that. And then his shit just healed right up, and he just kept coming. He was like unstoppable. You know, they shoot this guy, they hit this guy, they hit him with a hammer, and the dude is just continuously coming. And that's how we're gonna be. You know? They shooting bullets, and they just reflecting off of you. There was a scene in the Superman movie that I watched where the criminal basically walked up to him, point blank, pointed the gun to his eye, and he shot, you know, at point blank, and you could see the bullet fly, and then it hits Superman's eyeball, but then the bullet crushes, right, like that, and flattens, and it falls to the ground. And I'm like, shit. Even if you even slightly poke your eye, you're like, oh, like it's very delicate. So for a bullet with the force it's coming with to just like crumble, you got to imagine what kind of level we gonna be on. As the Lord said, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Okay. So now let's go. This is the book of Psalms 18, verse, let's see. All right, I'm gonna start off at I think it's around the 30th verse or so. Yeah, we could start here. Yep. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 28. Okay, it says, "For thou wilt light my candle, the Lord, my power, will enlighten my darkness. For by thee have I run through a troop, and by my God have I leaped over a wall." Now, King David is basically, being that it's a psalm, he's singing about these feats and these accomplishments that he was able to do through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So, if he says he was able to leap over a wall, he's not talking about a little fence 2 feet tall. That's not something you brag about. You know, running through a troop does not mean that you knocked out 2 people in a street fight. You know, and then, oh yeah, I knocked. No, a troop, That means because King David was a man of war. So they went to war. Why do you think they sang those songs about Saul killing his thousands and David his tens of thousands? Tens of thousands? You go to war and you come back and they're singing about how you've killed tens of thousands? Man, you know what I'm saying? People walk around now, you know what I'm saying? People act tough now, like, oh yeah, I got 2 bodies, you know what I'm saying? And I got it by a gun, you know, I shot somebody, bam, bam, you know, he tried to act tough, so I shot him in the head. Okay? You know, this is back then, war wasn't about, well, yo, bang, you know, anybody could grab a gun and shoot somebody. You know, war, you had to be skilled. You had to know how to fight, because when you're in war, all right, it's as it says in Isaiah 9:5, it's with confused noise. You're hearing different sounds. You're hearing people on your side, people on their side, swords clashing, shields, you know, and all of that. And it's not going to be like, oh, well, if I see him fighting somebody, I'm going to wait, you know, so it could be a fair fight. No, they're trying to kill you. They're not trying to, it ain't about having a fair fight. When you're in war, the objective of the other side is to kill you. So this is a life and death situation. They have weapons that are used for killing, whether it's spears or daggers or swords. So for you to go to war and, as he says, run through a troop, not walk through, but run through a troop, meaning he made quick work. All right, he made quick work of them. That was through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, for a mortal man to be able to do such a thing. Okay, now this is Salakia. This is Fisher Turn Hunter 7, Psalms 144:1, a psalm of David. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Okay, so now the scriptures don't say that King David went to some MMA, you know, so he was out here serving Saul and being a king, but low key he was taking MMA classes. You know, you had Samuel had the mitts on it, you know what I'm saying? All right, there we go. 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right, give me the 3. Oh, all right, now you missed that. Try it again. Try it. No, you know, that it didn't say that. But as he said, but he was out here killing it. Now, as it says, the Lord teacheth my hands to war, all right, and my fingers to fight. And you gotta, like, an example that comes to mind is like in the Matrix, when Neo, when for people who've seen the movie The Matrix, when Neo was in the Matrix, all right, and he finally woke up in the training session, I think it was Tank who basically programmed. He could program, you know, either there was a scene where he was able to program just guns, but there was another scene where he could program into Neo's mind kung fu or like martial arts or whatnot. You know, you program, make you an elite master jujitsu artist, you know, and he just, once it's programmed, he just knows how to do it without taking one single class in that. And the Lord could do that, you know, in the midst of it, you know, you surrounded whatever, he could just, your whole life, you know, you just know how to do it. Okay, and it'll be like second nature. All right, so as King David says, for by thee have I run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall. Okay, being able to jump extremely high. Okay, probably be able to jump from the floor to the top of the Empire State Building or whatever. You know, jumping over buildings, jumping from building to building. Okay, it says, as for the Most High, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. Okay. Let's see what it says here for this. All right, when you look up buckler, it has here my gun. All right, it says shield buckler. Okay, so the Most High is a shield. Okay, now if you have a shield, what is that to do? It's to protect you from from either an arrow or a weapon or some danger. And that's what a shield is for. So as King David is saying, the Most High is a shield or a buckler to all those that trust in him. All right? And we trust in the Lord. So when the enemy comes in, the Most High is going to be a shield. And he's going to be a shield that doesn't break. So you're not going to be able to get past that shield or that standard. It says, for who is the Lord, or who is the Most High, save the Lord? All right. Or who is a rock save our power? It is the Most High that girdeth me with strength, and maketh my way perfect. He maketh, and that's why the Lord loved King David, because he always gave the praise to the Lord. He didn't boast and oh, look at how great I am. Look at what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I cut that Hamite's head off. You know, I did that. No, he gave the praise to the Lord, and the Lord was like, the Lord loves praise, so he's like, shit, I love this guy. You know, keep doing what you're doing. All right. It says here, he maketh my feet. Verse 33. He maketh my feet like hinds feet. Okay. Now it says here, a hind is a female deer, especially a red deer. Okay, now let's see. All right, and let me see. Anyway, it says a deer's a hind is a female deer, and them deers, man, they ain't nothing to be played with, man. You know, they're fast. They're fast as shit, man. If you look at them videos when in Animal Planet, when you have a cheetah or a different animal chasing a deer or a roe or whatever it is, them things they'll be eating, and they hear something and their head goes up. And they look up, they look around, and they spot something, and they are out, man. They are out, because they be, you know what I'm saying? You know, just whoop, out so fast. You're like, damn, man. And you looking at the cheetah, and cheetah like, oh, shit. And he's going full speed, and you're like, damn, this roe or hind or whatever is giving you a run for your money, literally. You know? Sometimes the cheetah might actually get it, sometimes it might not. But you like that. The fact that you could give a cheetah a run for his money for that long, you must be fast, you know? So King David said that the Lord made his feet like hinds feet. So he had to be extremely fast and agile, all right, agile, in order to be able to for you to go to war and kill thousands of people and not get touched, not get harmed. You have to be extremely fast. You have to have godly reflexes. You know, because you might have somebody coming from behind you. You might have five people coming at you at once. You know, so for you to be able to, whatever it is you do, you know, and move through all of that, maneuver through all of that, move so fast that they can't touch you and you're getting all of them. Hey, that's the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because the Lord can enhance you mentally, but he can also enhance you physically. What do you think he did to Samson? You know, the Lord can do that. Okay. It says, because it's all really just manipulation of elements. All right. It says, and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken in my arms. Now, who's walking around bending and breaking steel out here? Not me. You know. But King David, he's singing about how he was able to do it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. So you could bring your machines. We're going to bend it. We're going to break it. Like, we're going to run it through it and break it. And then we're going to sing about how the Lord gave us the power to do that. You know, we're going to crush your robots. We're going to crush your satellites. We're going to crush all of that. You know? And if I don't personally get to do it, the Lord's going to bless somebody to do it. Nonetheless, as a whole, Lord willing, we're of the elect. That standard is going to be lifted on our behalf. And it's going to crush you. It's going to be like a big boulder that's going to crush your ass, man. Okay? It says, verse 35, Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Okay? Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. And this is basically to show you that the Lord was able to do this for King David, so that he would be able to. That's why he was a mighty man of war. You know, he was a man of war, and he was able to be that way because of the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And the Most High is a man of war. Haven't you noticed that throughout all of history, there's always been conflict? There's always a war on some level. You know, there's in life, even if you just look at life, it's a war. It's constant war. The spirit is warring against the flesh. You got day, you got night. You always have opposing sides. You know, you have one thing and you have the opposite. You have one people, you have another people. You know, you have one kingdom, then it gets taken down by another kingdom through war. You know, and then there's little peace, then there's this, that. But there's war on so many different levels. War against demons, war against your flesh, war against people, you know, mental wars, physical wars. Because the Most High is a man of war. So if you really pay attention, you'll find that there's always two-sided things to almost everything. Okay? So the Lord is a man of war. King David was a man of war, and the Most High, if the Most High is a man of war, who would know more about war than the Most High? He created war. All right? He created war, man. Okay? Yep, let me get this real quick. This is from Servants of the Lord 144. Exodus 15:2. The Lord is my strength and song, and he is become my salvation. He is my power, and I will prepare him an habitation. My father's power, I will exalt him. Verse 3, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord Yahweh is his name. He is. You see, and that's why there's so many attributes to the Lord, because that's why he said, I am. Because, okay, you can say somebody is a man of war, but if you classify somebody as a man of war, in people's minds, that's like you know him for war. But that's mainly what he does. You know, you got somebody that say he's a man of, you know, wisdom. Then when you look at him, you're not going to think of a man of war. You're going to think of a man of wisdom. But the Most High said, don't put nothing after that. Don't put anything after that, because that's just going to limit me. All right? I am. Meaning anything. Not even anything, everything. Okay, let me put it like that. I am. So what are you? You just are. Because the second you put something after that, it limits what you are. But there's no limit to the Lord. So he just is. I am. You know? That's heavy. So it says he's a man of war. So of course when these devils come, the Lord is going to be in it. You know? He's going to have them come. But the same way he was able to raise up King David to do those mighty acts, he was able to bless Elijah with spiritual power. He blessed Elisha with spiritual power. Okay? He's going to bless us as well. Okay? Samson. And every time there was a conflict, the Lord, the way we got out of it was divinely inspired. Okay, so in this time, when the now see, why didn't the Most High give Samson the ability to fly? You know? Or shoot laser beams out of his eyeballs, or teleport and reappear and disappear, you know, or do some Kamehameha waves, or like, you know, shoot fire out his hands and stuff like that, because he didn't need that. All he needed was the super strength to handle those Philistines and all of that. He didn't need to shoot lasers out of his eyes and teleport and all of that. Okay, but in this time we're gonna need that. We're going to need power on a level that can combat the technology Esau's coming with. Back then, they didn't have technology that can make you invisible. They didn't have supersonic, you know, rockets and all of these different things. They didn't have heat, you know, weapons and guns. So you didn't need all that. But now if they're coming at you and they're shooting bullets at you, you're going to need to be extremely fast, or you're going to need some way to be defended in that. You know? Because if you find yourself in a situation where you're literally about to be executed, and there's maybe a certain number of troops around you that are about to open fire on you, the standard the Lord is going to have to live, it has to be supernatural. Because there's no carnal solution out of that. The second they start opening fire and the bullets, in the midst of the bullets flying at you, unless the next thing that happens has to be supernatural, or else you're dying. You know? It has to be supernatural. Whether the Lord teleports you out of there, whether he sends an angel to set up a force field around you, whether the bullets just stop before they hit you, whatever it is in that situation has to be supernatural. It has to be divine. Or else, how are you going to get out of that any other way? You know? Or you might die and the Lord might raise you back up again. Who knows? Okay. But let me read a little bit more here in the book of Psalms 18, and Lord willing, wrap it up. Okay, so it says, there we go. Psalms 18, verse 37. It says, I have pursued mine enemies. All right. It says, and overtaken them, neither did I turn again till they were consumed. And it's going to be beautiful, because the Lord is going to turn it from us being our back against the wall to now us being the pursuers. Okay. And keyword, the Lord is going to make this happen. See, they're going to come after us, but they're the ones who are going to have to turn around and flee. You know, they're going to come after us. See, it's like coming, you running, and you think you got it because you running, and the person you see is, for those who know about like the Incredible Hulk, you got Bruce Banner, right? I believe that's his name, Bruce Banner. And then you got the Hulk. Now, they don't understand that Bruce Banner is the Hulk. So they're coming and they're like, oh, this guy? Oh, hell yeah, we got him. Until he transforms to the Hulk. Now it goes from them running after him to then them running away from him. And now he's doing the pursuing. All right, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to come full force. Yeah, we got these. Man, look at them guys. They look at us physically and they're like, why do our superiors make them such a big deal, like they're a big threat? But then when that standard gets lifted and they're booking it, then they're going to realize. And then we going to pursue. You know? It's going to be like that movie with the boy, damn, how did I forget this movie? Brightburn. It's going to be like the movie Brightburn, when he figured out that he had those powers. Then he started doing the pursuing. So it says here, Psalms 18 and 37, I have pursued mine enemies and overtaken them, neither did I turn until they were consumed. And the Lord said he's raising the house of David. So guess what? We gonna do, Lord willing, we're of that house. We're gonna do what David did. Did David not have mighty men? Did they not perform mighty acts? So we're gonna do that as well. Okay? Verse 38, I have wounded them that they were not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. And it's going to be like, damn, just a second ago, it looked like we were in so much trouble. But now, we basically got the upper hand. Verse 39, for thou hast girded me with strength onto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. And when the standard gets lifted, we're going to understand that it's the Lord that is subduing them under us. Okay? Verse 40, thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. And we know that these devils hate us. And we know they're going to send the cops, they're going to send the SWAT, whatever they're going to send it. But guess what? Just as the Lord delivered King David, he's going to deliver us. Okay? It says, they cried. Okay? I'll read verse 40 again. Psalms 18 and 40. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them. Even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. And it's gonna be real funny, because they're gonna come in with so much pride, and it's gonna get so shattered and broken. They're gonna see something that they've never seen before. You know, you pull up on somebody and it looks like the odds are against them, and just before, you know, it's over, you know what I'm saying, here it is, the spirit just jumps on the brother. You know, he just looks up, and he opens his eyes, and that joint is just white. You know, like it is like it's glowing, like a glowing white, you know, and you just start feeling things shaking around. They're gonna know, oh shit. Immediately they're gonna open fire, but the bullets are not doing it. They're either reflecting off you or they're not even touching you, you know. And then I don't know, Lord give you telekinesis, telepathy, whatever he gives you, you know. You could, you know, like some Magneto type joint, you just crush them or whatever. Hey, at that point, we just gonna have to see. But in that moment, like it says, they cried, but there was none to save them. You know, retreat, fall back. Ain't no fall back, nothing. You're gonna fall back 6 feet under. It says, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Verse 42, then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. Okay, and that's what's gonna happen, man. So bring your machines, bring your robots, bring your flood, which is ultimately the Lord's flood. But guess what? As we just read in Isaiah 59 and 19, a standard is going to be lifted on behalf of the Lord's elect. Okay, and they're going to be defended. Okay, and we're going to see what it's going to come with, but we know it's going to have to be great, because they're going to come. A flood is not it's not a little pool of water. No, a flood is great. So the standard that's going to need to protect us against that flood is going to need to be great as well. Okay, and we're looking forward to that. And we're going to be like, hey, thank you for coming in like a flood, because you came in like a flood, this happened. You know, this happened. All right, so I'm going to end it here. All right, Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. As I titled it, Man versus Machine. You see what's going on in the world. They're about to disclose of that the UFOs information. You have them working on these super soldiers, these AI robots. Okay, you got inflation that's going on. You got the central bank digital currency that they're trying to bring out. You know, you have a lot of things that are going on, man, and this, it's all pushing towards the vibration of prophecy. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna read this last precept and then end it off. This is Nedebiah is thankful. Therefore fear thou not, O my. What precept is this, brother? Put the quotes under, you know, the where the precept is. Okay, but I'm gonna read it. All right, it says or maybe I could find it here. Let me see. Oh, Jeremiah 13 and 20. Khan. All right, so it says, this is Jeremiah 13 and 20. It says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel. 13 and 10. All right, Khan. Jeremiah 13 and 10. It says, therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity, and Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. So we're not gonna be afraid, man, because we're gonna get the upper hand. Trust and believe we're gonna get the upper hand, you know, and we're gonna stay up there. Okay, and at that point when the Lord raises us up, he's gonna subdue all these people under us, and they're gonna stay that way. Okay, and that's gonna be a beautiful thing to witness, and Lord willing, be a part of. All right, so with that, Yahweh Hashem El Shai Barakatham to all you sincere listeners. All right, hey, stay in the spirit, you know, and pray for fewer days. All right, so in closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.